Hello, welcome back. I went through my videos and I have noticed that I've never made a video like this before, where I tell you my story and how did I end up where I am today. I thought it's a good time to share with you how did I end up in the UK. Also because I think life gave me such beautiful lessons on the way, and hopefully maybe my story will be able to make you realize that it really does not matter where you are from, what's happening in the life. Everything is in our own hands and we can decide exactly what we want to do and who we want to be in life. And if we just decide on it and go for it, it is all possible. I originally come from Poland, from Krakow. I was born in 1989 and I have one older sister. She's 2 years older. My dad is a very passionate and very talented mathematician. He is also very interested in history, especially in the history of Eastern tribes and Slavic cultures. He knows everything about it. And my mom always has had an artistic soul. She likes creating, painting, renovating. She also plays musical instruments. So I'm a little bit a combination of these two factors. When we were really young, my dad bought a Volkswagen van and converted the back seats so it can be folded into the sleeping place. Every year, since I was like very little, up till when I was around 13 maybe, he would plan a route for summer holidays for all our family to go from Krakow all the way to this Polish seaside place called Dębki. The journey would take us around probably a week or two, and we would stop in all these historical, beautiful places. Now when I look at it, it was absolutely brilliant, but when I was a child, I absolutely hated it. And I can honestly say I have seen Poland and I have learned a lot about Poland, so I'll be forever grateful for that to both of my parents. Everything started kind of turning a little bit upside down at the beginning of my high school. My dad started having a little bit of problems at work, and the economy of Poland wasn't very good as well, and unfortunately in our family started appearing the problem of alcohol, which it's quite common in Eastern European countries, but when it actually happens, it completely destroys the family. So I experienced quite tough times since I was in the beginning of high school. My parents struggled with sorting out their own issues, and I felt like me and my sister were kind of left of our own. Also, the money problems started to happening in our family. So although we always had food on the table, if I needed something, if I needed, a face wash, or a shower gel or shampoo or something like, or new pairs of shoes because my shoes broke down, I didn't have that support from anybody and I had to work for it myself. So together with my best friend, we started working in our very first job as a promoter of the parties, of the big clubs on the main market square in Krakow. That was the times when I actually partied a lot, also because of the problems at home. I kind of wanted to spend as much time as I could out of the home. So between my age of probably around 17 till 19, I partied like every evening. Everyone in their life have this period when they have to, like everyone has to just go out and party and do all these silly things that young people do, and that was my time. And I'm really happy that by the time I finished 19, I was just so done with all this clubbing, partying, and all this meeting guys on the discotheque. Oh my god, it was a very, very difficult time in my life. I had to make sense of everything around without anybody's support. Around that time, it was when Poland joined United Europe, and we started seeing a lot of tourists coming into Krakow. And because my flat, as well as my high school, was really in a city center, I could not go from home to school without someone asking me for directions in English or where is the shop in English. And that's how my English really, really improved. And also at the time, I got to know different cultures, and I realized, hang on, there is a different world somewhere out there, and I become really, really hungry to find out about this world. So towards the end of my high school, things got really, really difficult in my home and my family. I can hardly call it actually home within these few really difficult years. And one day when I was in a very low point in my life and I had absolutely no idea what to do, which direction to take, I went online, and on one of the forums I wrote, how do I study in Great Britain? And somebody responded to me. Eventually we exchanged emails. This guy said that his son is actually studying in the UK now, and he told me just a few different clues how to go about it. And he also told me that I absolutely have to pass mathematics on my A-level exams, although I really didn't want to do it because I had this bad association because my dad was a mathematician, and because it was such a difficult time at my home, I just, the last thing I wanted is to concentrate on something that reminded me of that situation. This guy who I've never met before, I never knew him before, convinced me to actually sign up for mathematics at my A-levels exam, which by the way I passed, and I passed the best out of all the exams I've done. And I think I had 92% pass rate, which was absolutely brilliant. Till today it amazes me how coincidence like this, one person that appears from absolutely nowhere helps you in something that becomes one of the greatest steps in your life. It's absolutely magical to me. After I finished my high school, I started working in a hostel in Krakow. I was working there for 1 month. I had a shift at the hostel that night, and I had absolutely no idea what I'm gonna do. And that evening I received a message from someone that I didn't quite expect, but something that absolutely changed my life forever. When I was working as a promoter of the parties on the Market Square, obviously I met a lot of people, and a lot of guys as well. I was single at the time, and one of this English guy, we kept in touch, but there was nothing really serious about it. That evening he messaged me. He asked, how about you come over to visit in Newcastle? You said you've never been to the UK. And as soon as I saw this text message, I just felt this impulse, and I was like, oh my god, this is it, this is it, this is it. It was exactly the day of my 19th birthday when I landed in the UK. I spent all my money on the ticket. I only had £30 in my pocket, and I had absolutely no support from anybody else. It was just me, myself, and I coming to the UK. I started working within like a week after I arrived, and it was really funny because I remember I was on one of the shifts and somebody paid me with a £2 coin. And I looked at it, and I had to ask if it's a real coin, because at the time I didn't even know that the £2 coin exists. I knew £1 coin and notes, but everything was so new to me, and my English, I'm sure, wasn't that great. By the way, I cried the first 2 weeks when I was there in Newcastle because I didn't understand anybody. If you've ever been to Newcastle upon Tyne, you probably know the Geordie accent is not the easiest accent in the world. Then I successfully was accepted to Northumbria University, which I later on have completed. And that was the time when we had to decide our placement years at the university. At the bottom of the list it was Australia, and it was just one place available at my university for that exchange in Australia. And as soon as I saw it out, my heart started beating again, and I felt this impulse again. The class finished, I ran to the international office saying, this is me, I'm taking that place. I have no idea how am I gonna do it. I have no money. I don't know if I'm eligible for the visa, but I am going to Australia. Funny how it works that once we really put our mind on something, everything, the whole universe helps us to get there. So I found the money, I found everything I needed. I was eligible at the end, and in July 2011 I went to Australia for 1 year placement year, completely by myself. I was by myself at the airport, by myself in the airplane. Within a week of being in Australia, I met my boyfriend at the time. We were together for close to 4 years, I think. When I was in Australia, I made a point that I have to make absolutely the most out of it. I went to New Zealand, I went to Fiji, and again, everything from my own savings, from my own money, because I had nobody else to support me. But I've done it, I made it. I came back home to Newcastle after that year finished, and I completed my university in Newcastle in 2013, I think, in July 2013. From that point, my boyfriend got a job in Edinburgh, and we were kind of back and forth from there. I also knew I really want to do some more traveling when I finish university, before I commit to something really different, really proper. And so I went for 3 months traveling to Southeast Asia completely by myself again. When I came back from traveling in Southeast Asia, I came straight to Edinburgh. After that time, we realized this is not quite working for us. I was not happy, like as simple as that, and we broke up, and that was last year in February. And I don't know how to say it without sounding bad or offensive to anybody. I did appreciate the time that we had together, of course, but ever since that day, my life suddenly just flourished and exploded in amazingness in so many different ways. All the events that happened in my life over that time suddenly made so much sense, and everything kind of clicked together, and I found true myself. So today I'm coming to you from the most beautiful and happiest place I have ever been in my life. Everything fallen into place. My family matters got a little bit better. I am doing what I'm really enjoying in my life. I love my life. I'm getting up excited every morning. I'm first time in my life truly in love. The life is exactly how it should be right now. But if I did not go through all these things that happened in the past, I would not be the same person. I would not arrive to this place I am in today. And the few lessons that, speaking so clearly through everything that I've experienced, is that it really does not matter where you're from, who you are, what happened to you in life, in early life or in later life. You're greater than this. You can overcome everything. You can be anything you really want. And everything that happens in your life, it's not there against you. It's actually for you. And once you learn to step on top of it, there's nothing, trust me, is nothing better that can ever happen to you. I'm a strong believer as well that nothing happens to us that we actually cannot deal with. When the student is ready, the teacher arrives. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm absolutely excited for every single day that comes, and I've learned to just squeeze life like a juicy lemon, because it's the most precious thing that will ever happen to every one of us. I hope you found this story interesting. I hope it wasn't a bit too long for you. I'm really sorry, but I just wanted to squeeze as much as I possibly can. Please let me know if you would like to hear more stories like this. In a sense, would you like to know how I overcome all the problems that I had, in a sense, what did I actually do to be self-confident and just not being scared of the world, or not having these problems overwhelming me. I also don't know if you know, I'm a very introverted person, so all of this together just wasn't very easy at all. So if you want to hear just a little bit more how I managed to make it all happen, let me know, because I'm very happy to share stories like this. I wish you all a very good weekend, and please don't give up wherever you are in life. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Just keep going, and it's all gonna be fine in the end. I wish you all a very good evening, and I see you later. Bye bye.